What is up, guys? I hope you're having a fantastic evening, day. What is the other one? Morning. Our topic today is drumroll, art school. Now, before I start rambling on about whatever, I just want to let you guys know that I am speaking from my experience and that this is more in an aspect for people who want to go for illustration as a major in college. So yeah, this is just for me. Don't attack me. It's all my opinion. You don't have to listen to me. You can make your own choices in life. I'm just here to maybe help you, or you could just ignore me, whatever. Maybe I'm just background noise, I don't know. I'm speaking from my experience. I went to art school, or I'm still going to art school. I'm currently in the process of getting a bachelor's for illustration, but I do have an associate's in visual communication and graphic design from my community college, which was more, of course, geared towards graphic design, but there were some aspects of traditional artwork. Last year, I started going for my illustration degree. I got an associate's last spring, so now I'm going for my bachelor's for illustration. And yeah, so that's my whole little background, kind of my what I've gone through for the past 4 years, and I still have another 2 years left. So let's start by going off the experience I have had, and with gaining skill, and have I improved at all since my freshman year of college. I can say I have definitely improved from the past 4 years. Now, to say that it was all from going to art school would be a lie. I think art school is good for people who have trouble disciplining themselves and working on their own. If you're incapable of doing things because you don't have a deadline or anything like that, it will be hard for you, I guess. And especially if you're not motivated as much, you sometimes will have more, I don't know how to say it. It'll take longer, I guess, for you to improve, or maybe you won't even pursue it all the way because there's not something pushing you to strive to be your best. So I'd say that would be an aspect. There are a few tips and tricks I've got from school, I guess, with especially with what materials I should use and such. But at the same time, you could honestly just learn that online. We live in a era where we have the internet, which consists of YouTube, which is free for the most part, and there's also Skillshare. Skillshare, sponsor me, please. I need money, thanks. But I do have Skillshare, and there's so many freaking classes on that, and although I don't use it a lot, unfortunately, I probably should because I pay a lot of money for it. It does offer a lot of classes from different types of artists, or not even just art, just anything in general. And it's crazy. You only have to pay, let's say, I think it's $160 for a whole year. $160 as opposed to 40 grand a year for something that you can learn in the same aspect. But I guess the difference is deadlines, because when it comes to school, you have projects and you need to meet those deadlines. And from those deadlines, you are training yourself for the real world, for the business world. You have deadlines that you must meet for your clients and such. Along those lines, you will also have a better adjustment with your speed and such when it comes to those deadlines, because you have experience from that. So I guess that's also a good point in going to art school, but you shouldn't just rely on that. But back to the gaining skills part, I feel like art school is 20 to 30% helping you, and then the rest of percentage, let's say 80% is just you pushing your hardest to be the best. You can't improve unless you practice, unless you work hard, right? So do you need art school for that? Not really. I know there's this one artist, her name is Tricky Wagon. I love her work, and she didn't go to art school. I think she majored in business or something like that. And she's doing, like, she's freaking striving, man. Like, she's grinding all the time, and I'm like, she's so inspiring to me. And she didn't have to go to art school for that. Like, literally, she's talented just on her own. So does art school really help you do that? Maybe a little bit, but you could also go for like business or anything else that you want to pursue and just have art as a side hustle or a main hustle. I don't really know, but from my experience, the skill mostly relies on you and how hard you try. If you know damn well you're not gonna try that hard in class, why are you paying all that money? That's just my opinion. If you're paying all this money and you're just gonna like lounge around and not hand in your work, bro, then just don't go to school. You're wasting all this money, or your parents' money, or you're adding loans and debt into your name just so you can fail. So I would keep that in mind. If you struggle to do like your work, maybe that's not your alley. I wouldn't want you guys to spend so much money not do anything because you're lazy. Not saying that anyone's lazy, but I'm just saying I've had some classmates where they barely did work, or they did work last minute and it like looks all right, and I'm just like, you gotta try your hardest, you know? If you're paying all this money, you might as well try your utmost hardest. Art school can be hella expensive, like superbly expensive. I live in New York, so I go to school in the city, and oh my god. I first wanted to go to Pratt or SVA because there was like so much hype about it and such, or like Parson or whatever, or like, you know, those like top private schools and whatever. But the more I looked into it, and like I think Pratt is like 20 or 40,000 a semester, and then you also have to freaking dorm if you don't live in the state, or if you don't want to commute. That is a lot of money just for you to let's say learn art, when you can learn art online for free for the most part. I mean, I would say go to a more affordable school, or just go for something else, honestly. Luckily my tuition isn't as bad, so I'm like, all right, I'll go for it. But if you don't have the money for that, or if you don't want to be in debt for art school, I mean, then I'd say just take a pass on it. Because if you just try hard in life, in art, and whatever, you will get somewhere. Even though it might take a while, you will get somewhere. And when you strive to be the best, you will be the best. Maybe. I don't know. Now, when it comes to degrees, let me tell you actually why I went to pursue art, or I'm still pursuing art for like a major. At first, I just wanted a degree for security. So if I were ever to not be able to work freelance, and I'm not making enough money, I have this degree for security to like get an office job, that maybe as like a graphic designer in in a company, or maybe doing storyboard illustration or something in like an animation studio. I have that. But also, I don't really know actually if you need a degree for those types of work. I guess it will be helpful for you if you want to get hired immediately, because it shows that like, oh, you went to school, you learned, even though you could learn without art school. It's just that security. So for the most part, from what I can gather for my future plans, I do plan to do just freelance work. But in worst case scenario, I'm like running low on rent, or I don't have enough money for rent, or what you have it, I could always try to get another job and go through that. But again, like when it comes to illustrators, they mostly do freelance work. Listen, if you want to go to art school, don't let that stop you. You get good things and bad things from it. Bad things being you're like 100, 200, 300, $400,000 in debt. But and maybe you will learn something from it. Personally, I wouldn't want to spend that much money on something I could learn on my own. Maybe like an ample amount of money, I'll be like, sure, why not, for security. But it is also your choice in life. I would research more on the school you would want to go to. Maybe look into reviews on the school, because sometimes a school can be like top shot and hot shit and whatnot. But if you read like reviews, maybe it's not all that. So I would definitely look into the universities that you are hoping to go to in the future. Again, I think that art school is just a plus, you know? It will help you a bit to strive to be your best if you're not capable of doing that. But at the same time, I don't think you really need art school. And I'm sure there are plenty of artists that didn't go to art school or just college in general, and they're striving, man. They are striving. I can't name any on the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure there is plenty of artists that are doing well without a degree. So I hope this helps you for your future plans. On another note, hold on, before I get out of this ramble, I have seen a few people quit art because they didn't like the workflow of it and just having assignments that they didn't want to do. So there's also that part. But other than that, listen, if you want to go to art school, go to art school. It is up to you. Research more, but at the same time, you are able to make your work better. Just Google. There's so many resources on the internet that you can find to help you get better in your craft. So that's my opinion. I hope you enjoyed this ramble. It was kind of long. Did I ramble a lot? Did I talk nonsense? Perhaps, but I hope this has helped you for your future plans. Also, this drawing was so much fun to do. I really enjoyed working with the ink. It was like working with ink and just like a nib pen is so relaxing for me. I don't know why, but like just like it just gives me this like sense of like relaxation every time like I just dip the ink and then put the ink on the paper with my nib pen and then with the brush. It's so relaxing. But I definitely like how this sketch, drawing, page, spread, that's what it's called. I definitely like how this spread turned out. I will definitely make it into a print for my next shop update, which will be in mid-October, so mark your tabs. I don't really know the exact date, but I'm definite mid-October it will be it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to give it a like, comment, and if you didn't subscribe, what are you doing with yourself? I make some great content sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes. So I hope you gained some knowledge from this. I probably said that for like the 15th time in this video. See you next time in Carrie's Adventures of Drawing with her. Okay, bye.